Okay, thank you, Tim. I'll share my screen. So here we'll talk about where to go birding in November. And one of the big things that starts coming in are the swans. These are tundra swans. We have two swans, the trumpeter and the tundra swans. See if I can get, there we go. Some of the birds arriving here in November. Some of the ducks like the bufflehead, sandhill cranes, quite a few are already here. We've had a few reports of rough-legged hawk, but usually they're a little bit later. Now, some of these are here all around, but they seem to be seen more in November and during the winter. Like the northern shrike is here all year round, but seems like we see them for some reason more in winter. Here's some of the birds that are leaving the valley. Of course, most of the shorebirds are just making a stopover and keep heading south. Fantail pigeons are here all year round too, but it seems like we see more in the summer and spring. Green herons are here year round too, but seem to go into hiding this time of year. The first place we'll talk about is Almsville Ponds. The place Tim and I went and we really liked it. There's quite a bit of parking. The easiest way to go once you park is just head down here off to the right. There's a nice trail that goes completely around the lake. We went off to the left and it was a little harder to find that way and follow the trail. But going off to the right is pretty well marked the trail. It's a Bates Road, and a little bit we'll give you the directions of how to get there. And see some of the things to look for. And all these birds on the slides that I have here, like birds to look for, those are birds that I got off of eBird that are actually seen in November and have been reported as being observed in November. So that we can count on hopefully some of these birds being there. It's a nice little part of water. In fact, when Tim and I went there, right out here on the pond about here, we saw a horned grebe, which was very nice to see. So to get there, you're going to come down from Salem. You'll take Highway 22 east as though you're going to Staten or Bend, and then take exit number 9 here, and you'll take the exit and turn right and follow this. It's Shaw Highway right off of the exit, but when you get down into town, it turns into North First Street. You'll go down to Mill Creek Road, southeast. Let's see, you would turn left on Mill Creek Road and follow it down here just a little ways, and you'll come right here to Bishop Road southeast, turn right on Bishop Road, and then left on Bates Road, and the parking lot is right here. You can see the biggest lake there. This is Young Lake. We'll see that in a little bit, but there's several lakes here in the park and ponds. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing here, and we're going to go to Google Maps so we can get even a little better look of what it looks like to get there. So here we are, Salem, go out Highway 22, exit number 9 right here. Take the exit, go down to First Street, take the left turn on Mill Creek. You'll follow it down little ways. It's not too far. You don't even have to get out of town. Then you'll take the right turn here. Here's Bishop. We'll get a little bigger, Bishop Road, and then the right turn on Bates. And there's Almsville's Ponds right here. We went around this way, but you can take the trail this way is probably better, just past the restrooms and around. Here we can see here, here's an aerial view of it. The parking lot is right here. And you can just take this trail right here and it'll fall around. And there's a few stairs there and, that you have to go up and down, but they aren't too bad. And then just come around here, curl around, and come right back to the parking lot. It's a nice circular walk. Go back to the main screen. Oops. Okay. It isn't letting me move. Okay. Took me back to the map. Okay, let me try that again. Okay, here it is. This is the right slide. Okay, and here you can see some of the photos of the ponds. Sometimes we saw a lot of ducks out here on the main pond. Here's the start of the trail, here's the parking lot, and here's the start of the trail right next to the right of the parking lot, right next to the restrooms here. Just take it right around and follow the trail. Just a few more photos. A lot of nice big oak trees. Some of the birds you can see. We had kingfisher there. You can see the gadwall. The double-crested cormorant. They like to come there. Then the next place we're going to go is the State and Riverfront Park. So we'll just go a little bit further to the east and take the State exit for this one. It's right along the Santiam River, as you can see here. It's on Florence Street. You can see not very many birds seen in November, so the eBird doesn't have very many reports. So this is one of the places where I had to go back to October to pick up a few more birds that you see late October. So the first three, the mallard, the spotted sandpiper, and black-capped chickadee, were the three species seen in November, and the rest of these were seen in late October. But I don't see why they wouldn't be there in November. But there's just not a lot of eBird reports in November. But I figured we'd tell you about it because if you're at Almsville's Ponds, it's not that much further to get here to this park. So you'll just continue a little bit further down Highway 22 to the Staten exit. Just grab it. And then you'll come down, turn right and come down First Avenue. It gets a little convoluted as you come down here. You'll come down and here we go. It's a little, okay, First Avenue. And you can take like Water Street here, you turn left on Water Street and come down, and you can come around to Florence that way. Or you can turn down one of these streets like Ida and get on North 2nd and then come down to Florence and go down to the end of Florence. And this is where the parking lot is. And this is all the park right in here. You walk across the bridge and the park's on the south side of the river here. You can see from First Avenue, for some reason it's cut off and you can't go straight from First Avenue to Florence. But it's a really nice park and a nice walk. Here you can see it from above. Here's the parking lot at the end of Florence. And then just park here. A lot of people walking their dogs here, but here's the bridge across. And then you can just walk right along St. Anne River here, come around. Sometimes I'll keep walking way out here, but a lot of times I'll just, since I've already gone to the ponds, that I'll just come down and take this trail here, and you can just follow it around. And you can peek in a couple of these spots right here, right next to the river, and get you down right next to the river. Sometimes see common mergansers going by. It's possible you could see an American dipper. Of course, ducks floating down the river. Then I just continue around here, go under these trees, and it makes a nice circle. And you can go back across the bridge to the parking lot. This is a Staten water treatment plant here. Here's the bridge that you cross from the parking lot to get to the other side of the trail. Trail is right on the other side of the bridge, right along this tree line. To go up a little further and walk further, there's a little dam or falls. Here's some of the birds that you can see there. We saw quite a few chickadees. Most likely the spotted sandpiper won't look like this. It'll be in its basic plumage, non-breeding plumage, and the bill won't be this bright and it won't have the spots here most likely. The next place we'll travel to is Silver Falls State Park. So there's quite a few falls. We'll look at the other map, but down here, here's the North Falls. Silverton would be out this way, the North Falls, and you go all the way up this way to the South Falls. That's the main area up here, the South Falls. Speaking of South Falls, here it is. You can see quite a few different birds here that you can't see down in the valley. Quite a list. People just recently have seen ruffed grouse, pygmy owls, American dippers reported there quite often. This is Silver Creek that goes over the falls. Now there's two ways to get here. From Salem, so like here you would take Highway 22 out and the exit number 7. Let me see here. Right, exit number 7, and take it and follow it around. Let me bring up a better map. So here we go. So here's exit number 7, and you'll see it's the name of it. It'll have a sign here saying Silver Falls, and it's Silver Falls Highway. Just take it, and you'll take, once you come down to the bottom of the exit, you'll take a left turn and just follow this road all the way up to the falls. You see it just keeps curving around, and it takes a big turn here, 214, and just keep following the signs to the falls. You see it keeps going for quite a ways. From the turnoff there from 22, I'd say it's about 10 to 12 miles to get up to the park. I normally come up here and then follow down and come to the main parking lot, the day use area, the South Falls. It is a state park, and it does have a fee. I believe it's $5, or you can use a state parks pass. It's a pretty large area. It's about 20 miles from Salem total, and over 9,000 acres. The whole park is the largest state park in Oregon, and it has 24 miles of hiking trails. If you wanted to see every one of the falls, all 10 falls, it would take about 8.7 miles, and they say 3 to 4 hours to walk it. But it starts way down here and continues way out to here. So all this area here is Silver Creek Falls. Okay. Here's a nice little map that sort of, so the other way you can come in is go to Silverton and go through downtown Silverton and take Highway 214 and come in the other side on the North Falls side. When you come in from Salem here, you'll come up and you'll come to the South Falls end. So if we start down here, there's the North Falls, the Upper North Falls, probably about a quarter or half mile walk up from the main parking lot here up to the Upper North Falls. Then you'll come and keep walking here. There's Twin Falls, Double Falls. You got the Middle North Falls, Drake Falls, the Lower North Falls, Winter, and then you've got Lower South Falls and South Falls. So that's 10 of them. They do have a campground and a horse camp here. The main area is here, the South Falls area, and has a big picnic area there. You can walk right over, and there's some nice areas to just walk around this area, and you can walk right to the South Falls and look over, look out and see it falling down into Silver Creek here below. And if you go there, you can download this map. Just Google Silver Falls State Park, and you can download the map. Here's a map of the 10 falls. Upper Falls to North Falls. And as we do, here's a rim trail that takes you all the way around. Come all the way around all the falls. But that's quite a hike. You can see some of the other trails. There's a Maple Ridge Loop that's only 2.6 miles. So it's nice to have this map with you if you're going to go out and hike, and it does give you the mileage between different points here of the trails. Here's some of the other falls. And here's what some of the trails look like in the upper left corner and lower right corner. They're in pretty good shape, most of them. Some are gravel and have a little bit of gravel on them, but pretty flat other than when you're going down. For example, if you're going to walk down and around so that you can walk under this falls, the South Falls, walk under and come around here. But if you're just up in the parking lot for South Falls and walk over a little ways, there's a viewing area right up here that you can see the creek coming and just coming right over the falls here. Pretty neat. Couple more. A wide variety of trees called the park home, and it's good for a nice nature walk. Has a good canopy, good in the summer, especially with all the covers and the tree cover. This one up in the upper left is the middle North Falls, and this lower right one is the lower South Falls. Some of the birds that you can see there. A lot of chances for owls. Has quite a bit of ground cover in certain areas so you can get your thrushes. And keep your eye out for the ruffed grouse. So some nice birds you can get up at Silver Falls that you couldn't get in the valley. My bonus tip is another nice road to take is this Silver Ridge Road. So as you're coming from Salem and you're coming up Highway 214 up to the falls, as you get up here, you'll see a scenic viewpoint. There's signs there pointing to scenic viewpoint. Just after you get to the scenic viewpoint is the first part of the park that you'll come to. You'll take a sharp turn, and then you can take a left turn onto Silver Ridge Road Southeast. It's quite a long road, but you can go down the road here as a graveled road, and every so often you'll see these little pullouts like this, and most of the time there's a little bar across the road making it so you can't enter with your car, but you can park right in this area here and just get out and walk down one of these little paths that, between two trees, and you can walk down quite a ways. Sometimes you can see a lot of birds just down these different paths, and sometimes the owls hang out down there and just pull off to the side and walk down one of these paths. But it does take quite a while to get down through the road, and we normally stop quite a bit, and we didn't even make it back over to the main falls because it takes quite a while to get down, so you might want to make it a separate trip. Next one we'll go to is River Road Park. It's right in Salem. It's about 16.1 acres. It's right along the Willamette River. They have some nice developed walking paths there and an overlook. You can look over the Willamette River. And I really like this little park. Has restrooms there too. Here you can see when you walk around, here you can see the Willamette River here. There's a couple of other spots where you can see through a little better. You can see the checklist of the things you can see. There for a while, there was a nesting osprey, but the wind during one of the storms blew the nest down. It was always nice seeing the osprey there every year. So to get to this park from downtown Salem, you would just take Liberty Street northeast out towards Kaiser, and then it meets up with River Road here. And right when you get here next to Fred Meyer on your right, and you just join River Road, you'll take a left into the parking lot here and just go back to the back parking lot and park. And then we'll show you here in a second some of the paths. So here's the overview. Here's Fred Meyer right here. So boy, you just come on Liberty Road Southeast, come right up to here, and here's the driveway, right? Here's the driveway to Fred Meyer. Turn left here, go back, and I park usually back here. You can see all the nice paved trails. I normally just walk over here past the tennis courts, walk along this edge. Some of these people have feeders. Walk along here, and then this is about the first spot where you can walk out right into here and see into the river. There's some good views of the river, and look down the river here. Sometimes there's some birds along here. You can see, come back, just go along this path along the river. Nuthatches, chickadees. There's a few places that you can see along the river. And I just take the path all the way around. Depending on how much time I have, I'll either cut off here back to the parking lot, or I'll continue completely around and just come up here and back to the parking lot. Here you can see they have some nice lawns and places. Lots of robins like to be here after it rains. A lot of worms. Most of the paths here are all like this, concrete and flat. So nice walking. A person even with a wheelchair can come here pretty easily. You can see on the left-hand edge here is a fence where the residents are. And if you look up in these trees too, you can see a lot of birds like the nuthatches and chickadees. Here's another spot where you can look out to the Willamette River. Across the river here is Wallace Marine Park. So sort of to give you an idea. Here's another pretty open, but you can see all the conifers along the other far edge. See brown creepers sometimes in here also. Lots of crows at times. Some of the other things you can see, chestnut-backed chickadee. But it's really a nice little park, and I like to go there. It's not that far from where I live, so. And all of these places we've talked about, they do have eBird hotspots. And if you use eBird on any of these places, you can go into eBird and bring up the place and tap on it, and you can get directions to these places also, just using eBird. The last one we're going to go to, my further afield one, will be Findlay National Wildlife Refuge down south of Corvallis. This is one of the many entrances. From Salem, it's about 45 to 50 miles there, depending on which route you take. You could come down I-5 or 99W. The refuge is 5,325 acres. It's mostly oak savanna and wetlands. I just learned the other day when I was doing another survey that oak savanna, it's based on the number of oak trees per acre. I never did learn exactly how many trees it takes to make it oak savanna versus oak forest, but there's a difference between the two based on how many Oregon white oak trees per acre there is. But this really provides Findlay, along with the other two, Ankeny and Basket Slough, provide a lot of wintering grounds for the Canada geese, especially the dusky Canada goose, and many other migratory waterfowl. You can see a lot of waterfowl, and thousands of birds can be here in the winter. At least 259 species has been seen on this refuge. You can see some of the marshy land here on the right. Also a lot of nice wildflowers that can be there. Still some even blooming now. There's also, you can go online to just Google Findlay National Wildlife Refuge, and they have a nice little brochure, and in spring, there's a self-guided wildflower walk there. But native flowers are very important to the native bees, butterflies, and other pollinators because they provide food, including nectar and pollen. It also supports some native species here, some endangered ones such as Bradshaw's desert paisley. So it's a really nice place, Findlay. As you can see here, there's quite a few hot spots. All these little bubbles here are hot spots. There's 19 hot spots at Findlay National Wildlife Refuge. And so with you can look here and you can see the chart. I put the chart on this time. Like the orange here means there's 250 to 300 species have been seen here. This just so happens to be the overall Findlay National Wildlife Refuge eBird list. But if you get to some of the other ones, like over here is McFadden Marsh, it's sort of this orangey color. So that's 200 to 250. The light green here, that's 100 to 150 species been seen at this hot spot. The yellow, 150 to 200. So just based on the color of the hot spot here, you can tell how many species you'll see there. So the two ways to get there are you come down, well, either way you'll come down 99E, but it might be easier to explain if I go out and use the regular map. Let's get back out. So here we are, Salem. I take each way. The first way is to go down I-5 southbound, go down to the Corvallis exit here, Highway 34, the main Corvallis exit. Go west on 34, and then you'll come just outside Corvallis before you go over the bridge to the Willamette River. You take a left turn here and keep on Highway 34. Then once you get here across the river, you'll see the signs that will say south to Junction City. So take the exit that takes you to Junction City in 99W. You go south on 99W. Keep going south on 99W. And here's Findlay National Wildlife Refuge. Personally, there's two ways, and you can go down Findlay Road here. I like to come down to the far side to Bruce Road down here. You can see there's a little store on the corner here, but you turn right on Bruce Road, go down a little bit, and the refuge starts here. And then the first place you come to right here is McFadden Marsh here. And that's the first place I like to start. And then you can just follow Bruce Road around, go all the way down Bruce Road. Let's see if we're going to hit the other. And there's part of the refuges all along here and some real marshy land here. After the winter rains, you can see a lot of ducks and things in these little places just off the road. But you'll come all the way down here. It takes a strange turn instead of just going straight to the main road, and you come way up here. Then you'll turn right on Bell Fountain Road. Go out Bell Fountain Road. So right turn on Bell Fountain. Technically, you're going north. And then you'll come down here to Findlay Road, called Findlay Refuge Road. It's sort of hidden the road, so and it doesn't have very good signage here, but once you get here, all of a sudden you'll see the sign and turn down this road, follow it down for a little ways, and then there'll be another road. There's a pond right here. There'll be another road that you can follow and go to the headquarters office. And then after that, you come back out of the headquarters. In fact, here's the headquarters road. And the pond, you can stop here and there's an overlook here that you can overlook the pond, come here, go up to the area here near the headquarters. There's a little pond here to look over and a big tree here, a big oak tree that sometimes you can see acorn woodpeckers. And there's a little trail here if you want to go called Woodpecker Loop. Then normally I look around there for a while, come back out here, follow Findlay Road out. Here's another pull off here where you can go around Woodpecker Loop. Woodpecker Loop does come all the way out here and will connect over to here. And just follow Findlay Road, and then we'll get up here a little further. And right here, there's a place where you can drive back, and this is where Cabell Marsh is. There's a sign here, not very well marked, but you can go back to the marsh. Then there's a little trail here leading you back to the marsh. And then you just basically keep following Findlay Road all the way out. Seems really long here. And then just before you get out here, there's a little Prairie Outlook that you can look at too, just right where it turns here. Prairie Outlook with a little canopy here, or not canopy, but a little platform that you can look out over this vast area of the fields and stuff. Sometimes you see northern harriers out there. Then just come back and you'll be on 99W again. Take a left turn, you'll go back towards Corvallis. So basically, you've just made a nice big tour completely around the refuge. Okay. Here's a map. You can get some maps online too, but this shows you a little bit. I come down here, Highway 99, take Bruce Road, you take a right turn on Bruce Road. There's a little place to park here. There's not much parking, but during certain times of the year, you can walk down here along the marsh. It's closed October or November. You can stop here, and here's the marsh, and look over the marsh. A lot of times you can see swans back here, counted up to 100 swans. Wood ducks can be here, especially on this other side, on the left side of the road. And there's a little parking area right up here where you can park and come back and walk back to here and look over. But you can see a lot of wildlife and ducks right in here. You keep going down, and there is a little turnout here that you can come up, and there's an overlook over the fields here that you can look at too. I normally take a brief stop there and just take a look and see if I can see anything. Drive along here, keeping your eyes on the edges of the road, especially after some rains and they have big puddles and stuff in the fields. Here's Pigeon Butte. You can enter that from another direction, but we'll show you a little later. Keep coming down Bruce Road. Oops. And here's where it takes a big turn. This is Bell Fountain Road. Come up Bell Fountain Road. Here's the road into this is Findlay Refuge Road. Come in here, the overlook and the road into the headquarters. This is the headquarters for all the Willamette Valley refuges. Sometimes the little stores open there, but with COVID, it hasn't been open very often. Then you just keep following the road down. Here's where the Woodpecker Loop is. You can see some of these after the rain, some of these little ponds are filled up and you can see some different ducks and things down here. A lot of times it's good to have a scope. Then you get up here, come back, and this is where Cabell Marsh is. You park here, or there's one way you can come in here, but I think it's a longer walk. If you go down to the second entrance, park here, it's a little easier. You can just walk right in. There's it's sort of like the rail trail, has a little path that you can walk down of planks, and then as you walk way down Cabell Marsh, you get down to the end. There's a little gazebo thing here where you can look out. You can walk a little bit further and get a different view over the marsh, but you can see a lot of shorebirds in here. Saw greater yellow lakes the other day and some greater white-fronted geese. And you just walk back out, come back out to your car. You can drive down a little further. Right out here is where the Prairie Overlook is, and you can look out all over all this open area. Seeing the western meadowlarks there, northern shrikes. We'll have a list here in just a second. A lot of riparian area, upland forest, wet prairie, quite a few different habitats, but a lot of wetlands. You can see some of the different trails. You'll notice this white barn when you're going down towards Cabell Marsh. Here's at the end of, you can see the path and the trail coming down. Here's the gazebo at Cabell Marsh, and you can get in there and look over the marsh here. This is Pigeon Butte, but you can see a lot of nice trees up there on the butte. Nice grasslands and savanna, oak savanna. So the first stop we made was just off Bruce Road at McFadden Marsh. You can see short-eared owls here too. And duck species. Quite a few checklists, and it's pretty popular. You can see 222 species, probably about the third top place on the refuge. 119, over half the birds you can see, the species you can see in the winter and in the month of November. So then this one is just called Bruce Road on the eBird for the hot spot. So as you go along Bruce Road, just keep looking into fields and red-shouldered hawk. Once in a while, a white-tailed kite I've seen there. Snow goose in the fields where it's wetted down. Northern harriers like the fields, but not bad along the road. 86 species in November seen there. the headquarters. Pretty good. You can just park. There's quite a bit of parking there. The white-throated sparrow. They have some feeders right in front of the headquarters building. You can see juncos, and sometimes keep your eye on those juncos. There can be different subspecies of juncos. Slate-colored junco been seen there. On the pond in the back behind the headquarters, common goldeneye been seen there. Yellow rump warbler is a good one to see. So next, Cabell Marsh. One of the best places overall, 228 species. And compared to McFadden Marsh, it had 222, so pretty close. You can see over half the species in November here, 222. American white pelicans, you can see them once in a while coming through. Wren tits once in a while. Because as you walk through on that trail, along the rail-like trail, there's a lot of water and cover underneath there. And so you see a lot of these songbirds just flitting around in there because there's a lot of nice cover for them. Here's the Prairie Outlook. This is out on Findlay Road, just past Cabell Marsh on your way out of the refuge. But the western meadowlark and the northern shrike. It's very field-like, so the northern harriers, sparrows. Even seen a prairie falcon and a Lapland longspur out there, but way back in 2015 and 2016. But as we always say, keep your eye out. You never know what you're going to see. Some other things that I didn't, you can see the boardwalk out to Cabell Marsh. Here's the boardwalk. But there's some other hot spots that you can think of. Cheeto Marsh, Pigeon Butte, you can walk up there, especially during the spring. And Turtle Flats, as you go out along Findlay Refuge Road, Turtle Flats will be on your left-hand side. But to tell you the truth, I really haven't seen much there. Of course, we mentioned Woodpecker Loop. Then there's another place, it's actually located in Lynn County. It's a little ways away, but Snag Boat Bend Wildlife Area. It's considered part of Findlay. You can just look that up on Google. So then after your bird watching, if you have a little time and you're hungry, as you're going through Corvallis, you can go just straight into Corvallis, go on Monroe Street. I really like this Local Boys Hawaiian Cafe. It's on the second floor and good food prices. I really like, I think they call it the Shinzu chicken, but it's very good. They have very reasonable prices. You get a side of rice, your entree, and usually have what my wife says is very good macaroni salad that I don't eat. The rare bird of the month, the brown thrasher. It's basically an eastern bird and normally seen east of the Rockies, but it has been seen here in the valley in November. This one was seen in 2008 on Quarry Road, which is just right near Silverton. And it was actually accepted by the Oregon Bird Records Committee. So It was a rare bird and right there in Silverton. So that would be the rare bird. My conservation tip this month, mindful birding. They have a nice compilation of ethical birding guidelines. And some of these, they are pretty nice, minimize disturbance to wildlife wherever you go. Be mindful of people and safety, and keep the outdoors harmonious for all. Carry out your trash and things like that. Like it says, don't be an insufferable bird watcher, but I know we don't have any of those here. Enjoy your time in the delightful company of birds. I mean, that's just a wonderful statement right there. That's the main thing I love about birding. Today, Tim and I were out at Gale Ackerman Wildlife Area doing a survey for Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. And it was just so delightful to be out there and hearing all the birds. On our way out, we heard about 100 robins singing. But it was just so nice to be out there in the quiet and the birds all around you. So it's just a wonderful experience. And just follow the guidelines for the pathway to becoming a conservation birder. You can see some of these reminders in more depth at mindfulbirding.org. Also, you can see the code of ethics for birding on the ABA website. Next, we have the upcoming webinar, Where to Go Birding in December, on Thursday, November 18th. So probably sometime in January, probably the second week of January, I'll have the Raptor ID class, since that's a good time the raptors are here. The rough-legged hawks and some of the other raptors coming through. So that concludes the presentation. Let's see, I'll go here and we can see if we have any questions.
There is a comment by Cynthia. And while you're reading that, Mike, I'll go ahead and invite everybody to unmute themselves and ask questions using their mic. So you should have all received a little message that you can use to unmute yourself.
Yep, and good point Cynthia made. Right now, the headquarters of Findlay is closed. They have some yellow tape across the entrance. So can't go there. Hopefully it'll be open in the spring.
So several of you have unmuted yourself. Feel free to ask a question if you'd like to now.
This is Cynthia. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a quick comment. While the headquarters building is not open and that parking lot is not accessible, there is another parking lot that's just a little bit that you will reach either before or after you get to the road that goes down to the main headquarters, and you can park there and access all of the trails, including walking down around the headquarters. You just can't park there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know there is a parking area overlooking the little pond there just before the road where you
That's correct.
to go
Yeah.
to the forward. So yeah, good point, Cynthia. Thanks.
Any other comments or questions?
Oh, just a comment. I've been several times and enjoy it. I'm just learning about it, but I've been there about 3 times. It's not very big, but I like.
Where's that, Jacqueline?
At Snagboat Bend.
Snagboat
yes.
Bend. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not very big, but it's near the Country Bakery, which is open on Friday and Saturday.
And that Country Bakery is excellent. They have the best bakery goods. Like to go out there and get quite a few. They have this real good oatmeal type of bar that's very good.
Well, it's about 5 minutes from Snag Boat Bend, so you do both of them on the same day.
Oh, okay.
Pastries and birds. Sounds like a great combo.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So, Morgan and Jim said they never heard of Amso ponds, and so great.
Yeah, that's a great little 1 mile loop, and a lot of nice habitat with you walk around the pond, so you get all the waterfowl, including there's been some grebes there lately. Mike and I saw a horned grebe. Somebody else the next day reported a western grebe, so you can, or a Clark's grebe. So you never know from day to day what might show up there. And then you've got the nice brushy habitat all the way around it where you can find warblers or other passerines. So it's just got a lot going for it. Not many people go there. If you like fishing, you can fish from the bank or take a little boat out onto the lake. Pond.
Non-motorized boat.
No motorized boats, but you'll see when you get there, there's really no boat ramp. You'll have to carry your boat, little pontoon boat or float tube to the water. But just a really nice walk around. What a treat it was to discover that pond so close to home, or that birding hotspot so close to home.
And it's near the Godfrey Nursery, which is really a fabulous place.
Yes. My wife likes the Godfrey Nursery too.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
okay,
you.
everybody, I know
Thank
we're going
you.
to have, thank you. Going to have some rain coming this weekend, so they'll fill up maybe some of those places out in Ankeny, some of the scrape ponds, and out along Buena Vista Road there near Eagle Marsh. If it rains a lot, I think we're supposed to get 2 to 3 inches of rain. Look at some of those pull-outs there, and you might see some nice in there. We've seen, is it redneck grebes out, or redneck phalaropes out there?
Both Wilson's and rednecks, yeah.
Yep, out in the pull-offs at Ankeny along Buena Vista Road.
And there's still shorebirds moving through, so you might see them there too. It seems like those new areas that have received water get a lot of attention by the birds. I don't know if it's the worms coming up or out of the ground or what, but those newly formed field ponds just seem to get a lot of attention from birds.
Yeah, we're hopefully, maybe after the first of the year, I'm hoping COVID, they said it's supposed to go down quite a bit, and that we might even hit herd immunity in late December. So I'm hoping that's true and that we can start up our field trips again. We'd like to see a lot of you out there, and it's always so nice going out with a group birding. So I'm praying and hoping that we can get out and have our field trips again here after the first of the year.
We're really hoping we can have the Nature Center open to the public on January 1 as well, for that same reason.
Mm-hmm.
We're ready for it. It's ready for the public. We're just waiting for COVID numbers to come down a little.
You know, I've been surprised that they put the parking lot down where the marsh used to be. Isn't it going to get flooded every year?
No, it's actually high and dry there. The marsh is down below it.
Yeah, down
So
below it.
It should be safe there.
Hmm.
We did take that into
It couldn't happen.
consideration.
Because I always
It
look
could
for
be.
birds there.
Yeah, it should be high and dry where we got the parking lot and where we're going to put the Dave Marshall classroom.
Okay.
It's Say's Phoebe there yesterday.
Yep, there was a Say's Phoebe at the Nature Center, so that's a nice winter bird for us. Late fall bird for us moving through.
Mhm.
Hopefully, it'll stick around for a while.
And there's going to be a lot of nice things happening in the Nature Center, maybe even a bird banding place, and people might be able to come out and watch bird banding, and some neat things that are going to be happening out there. So we're anxious to get it open.
Right. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I'll go ahead and end it now.